Good afternoon, and thank you. Yes, it's true. It is my fourth invitation I get here, not because I didn't want to be here, just because I've been busy, and it's got nothing to do with number one or anything. I've had 3 children in the past 4 years. It's a pleasure for me to finally be here in Korea for the first time, to be here alongside giants like Joan or Pierre Gagnier. I should share that when I was growing up, I'm very young. Much younger than some of the other colleagues. So when I grew up, most chefs, they had posters of Pelé and Maradona, football players, on their walls. Me, I had pictures of Alain Ducasse and Pierre Gagnier. And I can tell you, when I come home, I'm going to have a picture of Martha Stewart for my 3 daughters as a powerful role model. So before I begin, I also want to point out to Peter Kreiner. He's the managing director of our restaurant. He's a little overweight Korean man. He's sitting in here somewhere. And he's also my closest colleague, and he was born here in Korea many years ago and left very soon after he was born. And he's traveled here with me. So it's a special visit both for me and for him. Thank you for this. So during this session, I've been asked to talk about my story. And as it is, I'm not a big fan of dwelling on the past. But I should start with taking us back 11 years ago, when Noma opened in an old shipping warehouse along the harbor of Copenhagen. Young and idealistic as we were, we decided that this little restaurant was going to give people a sense of time and place. Now, what does that mean, time and place? Well, we thought that we'd take our landscape, the culture, and we said that through tremendous hard work, try to show people what was going on in this particular part of the world at the time of their meal. Our goal was somehow to transform the ingredient around us and give people a taste of the now, literally have them taste the moment. We set out to dig deeper and deeper into our surroundings that any cooks in our region had done before, and trying to begin to develop a new sense of identity to our region's cuisine, whether it was by discovering and using new products or elevating old techniques, or even sometimes discovering new ones. We began by asking basic questions like, why is it that we've been doing the way we've been doing things? And why can't we break free of that? What are the barriers that prevent us from being more creative or seeing all the opportunities in the old dusty methods? What can we learn from other trades and great food cultures from around the world to push ourselves? All these questions revolve, of course, around one thing: flavor, the power of deliciousness. You may be surprised to hear that a simple mission like that, let's try to serve a bit of our landscape, a bit of our place onto a plate, was met with skepticism. Well, skepticism maybe is a too gentle of a word. We said we were going to rediscover forgotten ingredients and our past in an effort to shape our future. That was the beginning sentence that we started out with. Now that earned us the label of, and sorry for all the bad words, but you have invited a chef up here, the seal fucker was one of the labels that a restaurant got. I don't know how you translate that into Korean. Or the whale penis. That was one of my more fun ones. I've actually since tasted whale penis. It's not too bad. Why would an ambitious restaurant forego caviar in favor of nasturtium leaves or wood sorrel, everybody asked me. In the eyes of our detractors, we were committing career suicide. Noma was to be a sort of a flash in the pan, a 24-hour fly, in 1 minute, out the other. You see, at the time, most restaurants in the region that were considered so-called fine or serious, they were following a very, very, very traditional French protocol. And it was unbelievable throughout our city. The menus were more or less identical at many of these restaurants. The ingredients changed slowly. There might be foie gras with pear at one restaurant, the other restaurant might have foie gras with apples, but it was extremely similar. Maybe they just offered what people came to expect after a while. So the notion that we were trying to validate that a product from a farm just 45 minutes from the center of town could possibly compete with something imported across the ocean was to most people, including many of my friends, totally ridiculous. But yet, we went for it. In all honesty though, the first tries, they weren't that interesting. Some of the dishes, for instance, were conceived by substitution. Like local sea buckthorn berries, they would replace vanilla in a traditional crème brûlée recipe. In an otherwise textbook French recipe for stock, we'd swap white wine in favor of sour apple wine, thinking that we had somehow transformed the original idea into something new, novel, and of the place. We thought this was all that it would take to do something new. Neither we nor our guests found what was going on compelling after a while, and we realized that even though a crème brûlée is perhaps the best dessert ever invented, it still belongs to somewhere else than the north. Even though the ingredients that we built it on were from our region, it never really had that sense of place that we set out to do. That initial feeling of failure ended up being our biggest gift. And you could say the real beginning of our restaurant. During those frustrations, we pushed to connect with as many growers and producers as possible, from a Swedish forager who's literally the spitting image of Santa Claus, to a Scotsman who lives in a tiny town in Norway and bravely dives into cold waters for the best sea urchins and clams that I've ever tasted. We resolved to take in risks and experiment in our cooking and to have the discipline to ignore many of our reference points and push through, even if the dining room would be half empty. That was actually one of the most difficult things, to shed off all the learnings. It's much more difficult to unlearn than it is to learn, I've discovered. So if we were going to succeed and create something special, we felt that it could only be done in this way. As the months and the years they passed, we evolved and strengthened. We began making new and serious discoveries, and we did dishes that we never visualized in those first days at the restaurant. Throughout, we held ourselves to a ridiculously pressed and high standard, where our style and approach was in a state of constant but controlled flux. We'd never stay put or find ourselves too comfortable in a position. We did so by holding to the belief that it would never suffice for something to be simply tremendously delicious. It had to represent something new to us and our guests as well. So quickly fast forward to today. We have several kitchens now, 5 actually. When we started, we had one. There was 6 gas burners. We were 8 people in the staff. Now we have 100 staff members. About 30 of them are non-cooks. They're from all over the world. They are academics. We have a PhD. We have a doctor. We have an anthropologist. We have all sorts of things. And we have 2 non-profits where all these people work to study the produce, the deliciousness, the whole culinary landscape of our region. Everybody here is most of them are dedicated to preparation and service. And one of the kitchens, though, that is the most amazing one to have out of 3 that we do. Is one like Joaroka is where we have time to experiment. It's in a space 1 floor above the dining room. Myself and 3 other chefs work only and exclusively on developing new stuff. I call it the kitchen for intuition. There we work with produce that are in season and about to be in season, constantly challenging our intuitions, testing ideas, and failing over and over again. Actually, our fail rate is 99%. It's the most difficult place to work. There's nothing worse and more horrible than going to work and failing every day. But we do this so we push forward. We push the cuisine forward. This is what we do. This small space is the creative heart of the operation. Something I could not have dreamed of even 6 years ago. It's the place where we push ideas further and make sure that we don't fall into patterns that we've already explored. And it's taken us far beyond our initial pursuits. Let me give you 2 examples. So we've been exploring how to incorporate insects into our menu. Why is it in the West that we reject a potentially delicious form of eating that has proven so rich for other cultures? Tasting the unique acidity and crunch of an ant for the first time a few years ago has opened up a world to us. This ingredient now provides crucial flavors all throughout our restaurant. To people that don't believe in this or think, why would you want to do this? I always ask them if they eat honey. How many in here eat honey? Come on, everybody put your finger up. Everybody tasted honey. Well, next time you taste honey or think of honey, remember that you're actually eating the vomit of a bee. But it's so difficult to culturally take that away from the idea of something sweet and that you've grown up with, that this is a product that comes of an insect. An insect eats pollen, the sugars of the nectar of a flower, and then it processes it and vomits it back out for us to eat it. Why is that different than a shrimp, or excuse me, than an ant? Or is a shrimp not uglier than an ant? We've also discovered once something has been into water, it changes quite a bit. But for us, it was huge, like mega. Imagine being in the cold north and you've told yourself, I will never ever work with citrus fruit because that doesn't grow. Or I will never work with coriander because coriander doesn't grow either. And suddenly one day in a forest, you see a big anthill, and you go over because you've been reading about all these places on Earth where they eat insects, and at that moment you wonder, maybe we're the stupid ones. And you try and you pick up one little ant and you put it in your mouth and you chew on it and it explodes with coriander flavor and a hint of lemon. And that's a real breakthrough moment for not just a little restaurant but for a region. Because suddenly we do have lemons, they just have 6 legs. One thing that we've also been trying to do is explore all things about fermentation. Now, fermentation for us is also a major thing. Like here in Korea, we have a winter that's hard and seems to last forever, 5 to 6 months of the year. So it's always been a staple of cuisine all throughout. But when you think of it, fermentation, and what it is. Think of this process that's given civilization so many staples like bread, chocolate, wine, coffee, etc., etc., etc. All these everyday staples that you just forget that they come from fermentation. So we believe that we've only scratched the surface, what's possible in this field. And we believe that this is the creative engine that will fuel not only us, but our entire region for the next coming decades. Standing here before a Korean audience, I don't need to convince you of the potential of these techniques. But for us, fermentation is also a way that we have transformed what used to be waste into delicious condiments. Just imagine all the offcuts of vegetables. We fashion them into vinegars, a rich broth that now appear throughout our menu. It is literally the backbone of our menu. Fermented foods is the backbone of everything that we do. No matter what we cook, steam, saute, whatever we do, there's always a drop of something. An umami-rich broth, a vinegar here, a vinegar there.
여기
Outback,
육수를 쓴다든지
the restaurant,
여기저기 식초를 쓸 때도 다
we,
발효를 해서 나오는
2 years ago
무언가에서
we bought
비롯되었다 말씀드릴 수 있겠습니다.
4
제가
shipping
몇 년 전에
containers.
또 4개의 선적
It's funny
컨테이너를
because
구매를
it's actually the only
했습니다.
thing that we own of the restaurant.
이
We
레스토랑의
bought
소유물이 이거밖에
4 30-year-old
30년
shipping
된 선적
containers.
컨테이너 4개를
And we fashioned them into a state-of-the-art fermentation facility. We literally built it ourselves. There now we have 3 chefs and 1 scientist dedicated to letting everything rot. To let garums and misos bubble away in the hopes of finding new flavors that are already transforming our cooking. Today we're lucky. Our dining room is full, lunch and dinner, and honestly we can't accommodate the amount of people interested in eating at the restaurant. I mean, 2 Fridays ago we had 4,000 people on the wait list just for lunch, and we cooked for 40. Our staff is, like I said, around 100, which is about 10 times the size that it was at the first years of our restaurant. Once composed only by Danes, we're now the minority. We have just as many Aussies and Japanese and Koreans represented, if not more. Actually, right now we have 4 Koreans. So which brings me to another matter I've been asked to discuss. How did this work? Yes, an almost fanatical devotion to creativity, to putting out food that's both stimulating, delicious, has thankfully earned us fans and praise over the years. It is the backbone of what we do. But there are some other clues, and they are not limited to our restaurant. Many of today's leading chefs, including the 2 on the program today, can speak to their importance. I believe we offer something that you literally can't find anywhere else. That's simple. It reflects the place where we work and who we are. If you think about it, we'd probably have more easily failed if we avoided this obvious but crucial factor and gone the conventional route. So my hope is that this has allowed other chefs in our region, and maybe even other parts of the world, the confidence to do the same. After all, we did it in Scandinavia. Ice cold Protestant Scandinavia. If it can happen there, it can literally happen everywhere. By building, we did it by building a restaurant in the way that we want, where guests do not have to wear jacket and ties, and the staff's style is both casual but extremely considerate. I think we've created an environment that's comfortable for the people who dine with us and the people who work with us. It's an honest expression of how we like to eat, but also how we like to work. If we look at the success and college of friends of mine, like Korean-American chef David Chang, we can see that this is catching on. There's just less uniformity and more individuality in restaurants around the world than there's ever been. We've learned that by thinking about the happiness of our staff, we can maximize the happiness of our guests. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, we shut down the banquet hall of our restaurant. It used to be the bread and butter of our business. That literally we own our whole existence to the banquet hall. But most chefs hate banquets. It's literally the worst thing you can do. And I mean, if they enjoy it, they must be some sort of masochist. And what we did instead, we put tables and chairs for the staff to gather, enjoy their lunch and dinner together. And just a few weeks ago, we installed a little thing like a foosball table. These little touches continue to transform Noma and make it the place where we want to be 16 hours a day. And our food, no, hasn't suffered at all. It's only gotten better. And to add to my last point, I like to think that my colleagues and I have contributed to a very important change within this trade. It's one of the reasons people now, believe it or not, only with Harvard degrees are clamoring to work in our kitchens. Cooking is no longer a profession of last resort, the thing you do after dropping out of school or just after or before jail. It is still non-negotiably about hard work. But by trying
그런데
to create
저희는
human environments where people's dignity and ideas are valued, we're trying to reverse a tired and unfortunate tradition within the restaurant trade.
과거의 그러한 레스토랑이
It's
가진
been special,
악명을 바꿀 수가
to say the
있었던
least,
것입니다.
to be part of a group of chefs that have
굉장히
put our
특별한
little city
경험이었다고
of
말씀드릴 수
Copenhagen on the
있겠습니다.
culinary
이
map in a way that was
코펜하겐이라는
unimaginable
알려지지 않았던 그
a few years ago.
음식 문화에서는 알려지지
Visit
않았던
Copenhagen last year. They
도시를
put out a new
부각을 시킬 수
study
있었다라는 것 너무나 기쁘고요.
And
몇 년
the study
전에
was
하나의 연구 사례가
mentioned the
있었는데
fact that the tourism in
그
the past
논문에
5
이런
years
얘기가
has grown up
있었습니다.
11% in
지난 5년간
Copenhagen
코펜하겐의
because of gastronomy.
관광 산업이 11%
Unbelievable.
성장했는데 그것이
Unbelievable
음식 문화
factors for us.
때문이었다라는 그러한
Beyond my
이야기를
wildest
저희는
dreams and
믿을 수가
expectations, to
없었습니다.
think that a meal can
음식
draw
하나가
people to our country
우리나라로
just boggles my
사람들을
mind.
유치할 수 있었다니 끌어들일 수
And the best part
있었다는
of
것이
this,
정말 믿기 어려울
And the best part
수준이었습니다.
of all this is
그리고
that it's
가장
just the
놀라운
beginning.
것은 이제 시작에
What
불과하다는
we've seen so
것이죠.
far is infant
저희가
steps.
지금
Ahead of us is learning to walk
경험을 한 것이
and the
많습니다만
wild teenage
지금까지는
years where we
저희가
will really freak out. You think ants on
어떻게
Tatar
보면
is something?
아이가
Just wait and
걸음마를
see.
뗀 단계였는데 이제
There we'll
앞으로는
really test
청소년기로
ourselves.
저희가 더
And then,
성숙해지겠죠.
alas, of course,
이제 개미를 맛보기
before
시작했으니
at one
앞으로
point
어떻게
we will
되겠습니까?
become boring adults.
이러다가 물론
May it
저희도
never happen.
지루한
Thank you very
어른이 될
much.
수 있겠지만 그런 일이 벌어지지 않기를 바랍니다. 감사합니다.